welcome to the Watchtower Watch Reviews with your host DK. And as you can see, we finally have got some furniture and some set dressing for the office / studio. There will be more going up on the back wall behind me as well, so you'll have something a bit nicer to look at and hopefully it won't be bouncing light all around the place. So we're taking a look at a microbrand today, and that microbrand is Harrow. So specifically we're looking at the Harrow Nauticus. It's a watch that they tried to get started on Kickstarter last year. However, in the sea of dive watches that went up on Kickstarter, I think it just got lost in the shuffle, which is a bit of a shame because it actually has a Swiss-made movement, the STP-111 in it, and it's a watch they've put a lot of thought into in terms of the design and things like that. Now, whether or not that thought necessarily translates excellently is up to you guys to decide and up to me to decide as well by reviewing it. So let's not mess about and let's go straight into the review of the Harrow Nauticus.
Alright, so let's get cracking with the unboxing for this one. So this is a Kickstarter watch, as I mentioned. The Kickstarter is starting on the 30th of October. It's kicking off then. The price of this one will be £299, and I believe that is the final price as well. They do also have a stretch goal of giving away a free NATO strap. By the way, this is my Zodiac Grand Rally that you just saw there, and that is my watch that I reviewed last week. So take a look back if you want to take a look at that if you haven't seen it already. Inside this package, inside the little black box anyway, is another little black box with a cleaning cloth that is not branded, unfortunately. It just says Mother. I don't know who Mother are. What did you say about my mother? Yeah, no, let's not make that joke. You've got your spare links as well there, and let's get into some dimensions, which is what we're really here for. Dimensions, this one's listed as 41mm. Yeah, I make it about 40.5mm if I'm honest. Across the crown there, you've got a measurement of just under 43.5mm. Lug tip to lug tip on this one is 48mm, aided of course with the wearability by that curved down case. You've also got a lug width of 20mm, which means you should have no problem getting straps for this one, tapering down to 18, back up to 19.5mm at that clasp. The thickness on this one is just 11.5mm, very thin, including that flat crystal. And the weight with this one, with all links, is 140 grams. 6 links removed, my 7-inch wrist gives just 126 grams. So let's take a look at the specs for this one. 316L stainless steel, mainly polished on the case there, as you can see, and on the crown. You've got a stainless steel bracelet and of course stainless steel bezel. You've got mostly high polish, as I mentioned. A little bit of light brushing on those upper lugs. No fancy chamfered edges, nothing spectacular there. I don't think they can afford them for the price, if I'm honest. Lightly brushed on the outside of the Jubilee with high polish mid links. You've got a brush clasp with a high polish retainer. You've got a couple of micro adjusts there for yourself as well. It is a milled clasp. It's no safety one. It's just got the fold over with the press bit. Stainless steel, no diver's extension either. And as I say, 4 levels of micro adjust. The bezel on this one is 120 click bezel with a aluminium black insert. The dial is also black, matching this. So you've got a black dial and a black bezel insert. They're not offering any other colors as of the time of production here. You can see here as well a piece of flat crystal, which we'll get to in a couple of minutes time. We'll do a little test of that one. As I say, aluminium insert on this one, which goes well with the looks of this. Nice solid clicks on that one. You can hear it there, nice good motion on it. Now nothing spectacular, but it does the job perfectly well, and it goes back and does line up pretty much at the 12 o'clock position, which is handy as well. You can see there slightly past on camera, but it is actually level to the naked eye. So let's take a look as well at what else we have. We've got yourself a signed crown, and it's a screw down, and a exhibition case back showing off that STP-111 movement, giving you 200 meters of water resistance. You also have the specs listed on the back as per usual. Stainless steel, Swiss made because of that STP-111, sapphire crystal. And let's take a look at the STP-111 in operation. Unscrew the crown once. It allows you to hand wind the watch. This is a hacking and hand winding 28,800 vibrations per hour watch, so it is a high beat Swiss movement. Pull it out once more, it allows you to set the time, or the date I should say, down there at 6 o'clock. So you've got your white date wheel there, and it is winding forward. And pull it out again, and it allows you to set the time. It's got hacking second hand. Not only does it have a hacking second hand, but the STP-111 also has that quick snap date function that you get with some more expensive movements. There you go, bang on 12, snaps over nice and easily. Now, before we go any further, I don't know why I decided to do this, but I was going to decide to test this one for sapphire crystal. Normally I do this one off camera, but I'm going to give you a look. So we've got one watch on the right that is definitely sapphire, one watch on the left that is definitely not, and the Harrow Nauticus in the middle. So the one that we know that doesn't have it is my little Loris field watch. I know for a fact that's mineral crystal, and there's not a flicker on that diamond selector, nothing at all, no bars whatsoever. Now let's take a look at the Addy's Dive there. You've got my Addy's Dive Captain Willard Homage. Good strong read for sapphire there. No problems at all. So let's take a look at Harrow and see how it performs. So you've got a piece of 5 AR coated sapphire crystal listed. And oh dear, nothing at all. So this one is not sapphire, it is a mineral crystal. Now I have spoke to Jack, the guy who I've been in correspondence with about the brand. He has said to me that this is a factory oversight and that it definitely 100% will have sapphire crystal in the production model. However, I will have to mention this, that is up to you to take as good or bad. And to be quite honest, I was a bit disappointed with this one because of the fact that he didn't check it before it came out for review. So macro shot time, let's get away from all that unpleasantness. Under the macro lens, you can see there they've put a bit of effort into that dial. You've got that kind of waffle honeycomb texture in that ring around the inside. You've got a white chapter ring printed on around the outside. Nice enough actually, little colour on the bezel insert there with that red triangle. You've got your sort of triangular indices framed in a kind of high polish colour. You've got your, I don't know what you call those hands. I call them like diamond hands. I think diamond hands is probably about as good as I'm going to get. They're like diamond sword. Let's call them dagger hands or something like that. Swiss made down there 12 o'clock, of course, because that has to be 111. You also have the fact Nauticus and automatic down there. Automatic as well in red. Again, going with the second hand and also with the 12 o'clock marker on the indice. 12 o'clock marker on the indice. God, what am I saying? The 12 o'clock marker, the indice marker on the bezel insert. I can't speak today. And let's take a look at this one out on my wrist. So for your reference, my wrist is just under 7 inches, or as anyone else would call it, a perfectly respectable size, and stop making fun of me for it. As you can see there, it flows down quite well onto my wrist with that Jubilee. However, it is picking up quite a lot of sunlight there from all those high polished surfaces. Again, I might like a couple more brushed on this watch. Let's see what else we've got. We've got ourselves a silicone quick release strap from AliExpress. This one does pretty well of making it look like a skin diver to me. I think it's a pretty decent looking option if you want one. Affiliate links will be down below, of course, if you fancy any of these straps to go along with your Harrow, or if you just want straps in general. I'm really a big fan of these. I think they're dirt cheap. They're like 4 or 5 quid. They come with spring bars and they're excellent options. This is a bit more of a high quality one. This is a Vario single pass NATO. Again, it leans into that Tudor Black Bay look if that's what you want out of this watch with the red triangular indice. This is a black and desert sands combo, I believe, in, I think they call it Twill, but it's a really, really nice strap. Now, they did send it to me for free, so do bear that in mind as I promote this. So I didn't get the watch for free, by the way. I should have said that at the start. This is only a loan watch. Here's another AliExpress option. You've got one there with the red stitching. This again was 2 or 3 quid, and if you want to match it up to the second hand, the colour of the text on the dial and also the triangular marker on the bezel insert, this might be a good way to go for not a whole lot of money. However, if you want to go something slightly different, there's a Marine Nationale. I don't know about the Marine Nationale on this watch because it's already really, really light. So I think if you added on a Marine Nationale, you're heading into almost quartz feel. Some people might like that. I'm not so sure. Even though I start to want a titanium watch at some point, I fear that I might find it a bit too light. You've got the option then, of course, for a Milanese mesh. This is a Watch Gecko one that I bought ages ago as part of a multi-pack of straps. And of course, I can't find another pack of these straps to ever recommend to people. It's like I imagined it or drew it up from the ether or something. Some sort of fever dream that they did. Either way, this is how I got it, and it's a pretty decent strap. If you want something a bit nicer, this is a, oh god, what is this? This is a Strapsco Desari tan vintage leather distressed look. That's what it is. God, that was trying to remember off the serial code of everything. A nice option as well, especially with the black, just to contrast it with something. So let's take a look at some lume. So I gave this one about 2 minutes of light from a UV torch, which is obviously not all on camera. And then we sped it up 15 minutes of footage sped up so that it would fit into about a minute. And as you can see, there's an excellent glow off this one at the start. Really, really good. Now, there is a mismatch of colours between the lume pip and, of course, the hands and the indices. You've got BGW9 on the hands and indices and C3 on that little lume pip. And as you can see, the lume pip is gone pretty quick. Not ideal for a dive watch, if I'm honest, and it's a bit disappointing. However, I will say the hands and the indices hang on really well. And let's be honest, we're never really going to use these watches for diving anyway, and I don't know how much you use them for timing stuff in the dark. I don't know what you're timing in the dark in your bedroom when you're about to go to sleep. I don't really want to ask personal questions, but I personally don't use it for that. I just use it for timing cooking or something like that. So what are my likes and dislikes with this watch? Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's not sapphire. They said it was sapphire, they sent me a review copy and it wasn't sapphire, it was mineral crystal. Now again, Jack has promised me, assured me, warned me, told me, whatever you want to call it, that this will definitely be sapphire in the production copies. However, if there's an oversight like this in review copies going out to people like me in the, let's say, press, I'm not so confident in the fact that they're going to remember to do it for the production models. So look, take from that what you will. Also, there's a lot of high polish on this one, and if this is going to be a daily driver or a everyday wear or a daily beater or whatever you want to call it, there's too much high polish. Now, I will say I'm not a fan of the bracelet either, but I think if you were to get this one and they were to make their stretch goals, the NATO is the way to go, because the NATO changes this watch significantly. Now, I will say I wasn't a huge fan of it on the Marine Nationale, and I'm normally a Marine Nationale guy, but for some reason I think that this one suits NATO's better. I think it just gives you that bit of extra weight and a little bit of girth to it. Yes, I know, another penis joke, but look, leave me off. In fairness, it's been late and it's been a long week. The other thing I'm not such a big fan of is the fact that these indices and the hands don't necessarily go together. I also think the logo is a bit boring, if I'm honest. I think the logo, it doesn't look like they put much effort into it. It looks sort of like they spent 15 minutes on it, went, what's the name of the company? What we do with the logo? The name of the company? Job done, let's call it lunch. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get another one from Harrow after this review, but let's be honest, I have to call it as it is. As I say, the hands and the indices don't quite flow together. I don't know whether they're too similar or they're just not different enough or what, but yeah, just not my thing. As I say, there is the bracelet. Now, in fairness, the quality is decent on the bracelet. It's not terrible. It has solid links. It has solid end links. It has a milled clasp. But do I love everything about the bracelet? No, I thought it was a little bit cheap feeling. I felt better bracelets on cheaper watches. It didn't really inspire all that much confidence. It was fine, it flowed okay, but did I really think it was all that great? No, I didn't, if I'm being totally honest. Look, I seem to have been given this one an absolute kicking, but I do like some things about it. The review copy that I have here, it did start to grow on me after a while. I did start to like the circle around the outside in the white and the sort of black honeycomb dials. I can't complain about the value on this one because of the fact that it is £299 and you're getting a high beat Swiss movement. I mean, this is a Zodiac Grand Rally that's retailing for about 500 quid and it's got a quartz. I don't know of any Swiss high beat automatic you can pick up for £299. If someone does know of one, let me know because I might be interested in picking one up myself, even if I don't like this one particularly. But as I say, it just seems a bit like putting a high beat movement like this and a really nice Swiss high beat movement into a watch case like this with a watch bracelet is a bit like putting, I don't know, as I say in the outro, I think, putting a Porsche engine into a much inferior car. Bit of a shame, really.
So guys, there you have it, my review of the Harrow Nauticus. Yeah, I mean, it's a watch I didn't really get on with, if I'm 100% honest. I did grow to like it a bit more, especially once I took it off that Jubilee, because I really didn't think it suited it at all, to be honest with you. I thought once I put it on silicone or NATO, it looked a lot better, especially on that NATO, and thankfully that NATO is one of their stretch goals. However, put it this way, for my money, I wouldn't be backing this watch. The main reason being is that it's a bit like putting a Porsche engine in, I don't know, a Fiat. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're putting a really good Swiss movement into a case that doesn't look like it cost all that much money, if we're being brutally honest. There's a lot of high polishes, it looks a bit cheap. Yeah, a couple of different things that I just wasn't a huge fan of. Even the design, it sort of, there was just things in the review that you saw me review, like the hands didn't quite match the indices, and then there was other little bits and pieces that I just didn't really get on with too much. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not sure if this one will succeed either, but I do wish the company well, and I'm hoping they're taking my feedback on board here. Maybe just your design was a little bit safe, and to be honest, the case was a bit bland. Look, it is what it is, and again, it is only my opinion, so therefore there's probably people out there who absolutely adore this watch and will be completely disagreeing with my review, and if you are, that's absolutely fine. Again, reviews like this, I'm pointing things out that I think are objective, but everything is subjective. It's all subjective. It's all my personal opinion on what they've done with the watch. You guys could completely disagree, and if you do, make sure to let me know in the comments. Guys, I have been your host DK. This has been the Watchtower Watch Reviews. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Harrow Nauticus, and I will see you guys next time.